Hi, I'm Tom with BFID channel, and in this video I will show you all the new features that made it into Revit LT 2023 with the emphasis on the LT because not all of the new features of the main Revit make it into the LT version. The first thing that you will notice with the new version is the new logo. I heard some controversial reactions about this logo. I actually like it. It's a modern flat design. The only thing I would add would be the version number somewhere here, because as Revit users we know that sometimes we have to use older Revit versions because of the backwards compatibility problems with Revit files. So it would be nice if you would have some indication of the Revit version here, but otherwise I like the logo. Now, there's a web page, which I will link in the description below, of all the new features of Revit 2023. And I will go through those one by one. They are divided into core features and architectural features, and then some more informations. So let's get into it. So the first enhancement is CAD linking and importing file support for OBJ and STL files. So if you go to Revit into the Insert tab, then previously you could only import STL and OBJ files, but now you can also link them. So here you've got stereolithography and wavefront files. It's possible to link them. The other enhancement is setting whether the imported CAD families are cut or not cut. So this is my testing file, and here I've got a bed, and it's a 3D model. So it's this bed here, and it has got pillow up here. So if I go to the first floor, I've got a section here, and the pillow is behind the section plane, so it shouldn't be visible. But if I go to the section, you can see the pillow here because the family, as per usual, the CAD families are non-cuttable families. But in Revit 2023, if I select the CAD family, I have this option here, enable cutting in views. If I check it, the family is cuttable, and as you can see here, the pillow is not visible because it's behind the cutting plane. Another small but nice improvement is that all of the linked or imported CAD files can be placed on levels, not only DWG files, but all of them. OBJ, SketchUp files, all of them, you have the option to set the level that they will be placed on, which was previously not available. When talking about CAD imports in LT 2023, it's important to mention a new thing, that mesh is not visible in views. But previously, when you imported a CAD file that had a mesh, it was visible, and the object was almost unusable because you would see all of the mesh in your 2D or 3D views, and the mesh would be overwhelming. So now the mesh is not visible. It's nice, like this. I will create a video, a separate video of my testing of this new mesh feature, because it depends on which file you are importing. So I will create a video about that. The other thing with CAD imports is that now you can override the visibility of the mesh. If I get surface pattern, I use solid fill and I change the color to red. Then this file imported of the beds, etc., all of them are red. So this was previously also not available. This is all with regards to CAD linking, importing, and working with CAD files. Now, the second new enhancement is conditional formatting, and you can use conditional formatting in your schedules for parameters family, type, and family and type. So let's look at my example. Here I've got furniture schedule, and if I open the schedule and I would want to make, let's say, all of the family chair family name pieces red, I can go to formatting, go to conditional format, and now here I can also use family type or family in type. So I'll choose family, I will go equal to, and I will go chair, and the background color would be, let's say, red. So now each family name, which is chair, will be red, and it's also shown on your sheets. So that's conditional formatting for family type and family in type. Additional taggable categories have also been implemented. So these categories have previously not been possible to tag them, and now it is possible to tag them. So it's nice for entourage, handrails. It might be useful. This is nice. Another small nice feature is project browser icons for views on sheets. So in your Revit, you can see these new icons. Some of them are white, some of them are blue. The blue views are placed on sheets, the white are not placed on sheets. So I've got my ceiling plan, which is not placed on sheet. And now if I go to my sheet, and you can see that when I place my view on the sheet, the icon will turn blue. So now it's placed on the sheet. If I select the view and delete it from the sheet, it turns white again. If you don't like these icons, you can turn them on by right-clicking into the project browser and unticking Show View Placement on the Sheet status icon. And now it looks like in older Revit versions. Another new named feature is data exchanges, but I think this is here by mistake because you have to have Autodesk Docs or Autodesk Construction Cloud to have this, and I doubt that many LT users have Autodesk Docs subscription. And even though if you had it, I think you still wouldn't have this feature in LT. I think this is here by mistake. New feature that's definitely in LT is the displacement options for 2D views. So let me show you. In 2D views, you can use this feature, Displace Elements. If you click it, you can move, let's say, the furniture here, and you can edit and add this one too. So both of them are displaced. Then you can also place, let's say, these paths. And this way you can displace objects even in 2D views. Previously this was available only in 3D views. Now you can do it also in 2D views. And just so that you know, you are not moving these families, these objects. You are displacing them only in the one view that you have chosen, and you can easily reset and delete the displacement like this. What's also new with regards to displaced elements is the possibility to annotate them, to tag them in 3D views, which was previously not possible. So I've got these elements here and here and here displaced. And now if I save the orientation and lock the view, I can tag. I go to annotate, tag by category. I can tag these families like this, and can tag all of them. This was previously not possible in 3D to tag the views, to tag the families. The new feature retaining values when removing keys is considering key schedules. So the typical use of key schedules is to have ceiling finish, wall finish, and floor finish for rooms. I create a key schedule, and now if I select that this is the main room, it will automatically fill in the finishes. Okay, so this is the key schedule. And now the new feature is that previously, if I deleted the key schedules, all of these data will be lost. But now if I delete the key schedule, all of the data from the key schedule that was imported into the room finishes schedule is retained. So this is very nice. Active controls with multiple elements selected is another nice new feature. In previous versions, when you had curtain wall and you selected all of the elements, you could see all of these pins of all of the single elements. And this is quite messy, as you can see. Here in Revit 2023, you've got the icon here to activate, or it's also here to actually deactivate. And when I deactivate the pins, none of them are visible, so it makes the view less cluttered. So you can easily select it, and then when you select a single element, the pin is visible there, but when you've got multiple selected, there are no pins visible. Safe placement setting for workplane-based families is another neat feature, and it considers families which are placed on face. So here I've got this downlight light, and it's actually workplane based. And if I want to place it on this wall, now I'm not able to because I'm placing it on a work plane. I select to place it on face, and I can place it here on this wall. Now when I'm placing another, let's say even different family, another downlight, it automatically remembers that I was placing it on face, so I can place this light here, here, and here. And if I go to escape, it remembered that I was placing it on a face. Now, if I place it on a work plane, so now the work plane, as you can see, is the level. So if I place two lights here, and now if I wanted to again place a downlight, the original one, this one, it will remember that last time I was placing it on a work plane, so now it offers me to place on the work plane. So it remembers this last setting, which is very nice. Temporary dimensions for nested or shared elements is another small new feature. Here you can see a furniture system comprising of table and chairs, and those families are nested, and in previous versions the temporary dimensions were not immediately visible and you had to activate them. So now they will be visible immediately, so there's no need to activate them. Control print order of PDF export enables you to select which sheet will be before another one if you don't want to have them as you have them here. So if I start my PDF export and I will select the sheets, and I've got 4 sheets here, and let's say that I wanted to have them this B101 I wanted to have printed before A101. Let's say I have this, I want to do this. So I've got a new button here, edit print order. If I select that, I can choose, so they are ordered either by browser organization or by sheet numbering, which is I think the default, or I can choose the manual order. Now I can drag and drop the sheets like this, so I can do them as I wish, completely independent of the number. So B will be first one. I click OK. I click select that I want to print these. Now let's export. And if I take a look at the PDF, the first one is the B101. First one printed, the second one is the A101, and then the order that I've chosen. Another neat feature is creating filled regions directly in 3D families. So I will explain it to you. I've got this family, the chair, and I would go to edit it. And in the floor plan, previously, if you wanted to have a hatch there or filled region, you had only the option to create masking region. You had to create filled regions by doing some annotation objects. So now you can create filled region, and let's say I will do filled region like this. And now if I load it into the project, overwrite existing, you can see that the filled region is in the 3D family. Another neat feature of filled region in families is that you can control the pattern by parameter. So when I go back to my family and select the filled region, go to edit type, the foreground fill pattern here, I will click here and I will create new parameter, and let's say I want it to be instance, not type, pattern. Okay, okay, okay. Now I will load it into family and overwrite. So now you can see that here I've got this parameter pattern, and I can actually click here and change the pattern on this one to this pattern. So each instance, in my case, will have different patterns. So this is really, really nice. IFC parameters export map in Dialog. It's here by mistake. This is not part of the Revit LT. So if you were happy to see it here, I'm sorry, but this is here by mistake. Another dubious new feature is technology preview for parameter service. It actually is in Revit LT, but you have to be subscribed to Autodesk Construction Cloud. I wonder how many users of LT have Autodesk Construction Cloud, but if you have, I think you should be able to use this parameter service, which enables you to save your parameters, the shared parameters, into the Autodesk Construction Cloud. Set workplane quickly. It's a new feature that I'm quite fond of because it enables you setting your workplane more quickly than before. So here I'm in my family editor, and if I want to create extrusion on this face, previously I had to go to set workplane, then I had to pick a plane, go OK, pick this plane, and then I could actually see it. I could work here. So it was several steps. With Revit 2023, you can do set, pick plane, select the plane, and now you can create extrusions on the plane. So this is very nice feature. Actually, it also has a neat keyboard shortcut PK. So if you don't want to click there, you can just type PK, select the plane, and now you can create extrusions on the plane. So this brings modeling in Revit a bit closer to your standard CAD package with quickly changing your work plane. Okay, so you can select any plane you want. Search filter in view reference list is when you are creating a view reference. Here you've got the option, the search option. So usually there are more views in your project than here. But if I type level 1, just views with level 1 will be shown here. So I can select this one and create the view reference. So it's again very nice, just small feature, but will help to save you a lot of time. Multi-leader tag leader enhancement enable you to have one tag with leaders to several objects. So this is really needed functionality. So I will show it here. I've got this this cabinet tagged, and here is the second one. So I don't want to have second tag. I want to have more leaders. So I will select the tag, add remove hosts, and I will add this host. And now these two are tagged to the original one. I can choose to merge leaders like this, and I can also choose to unmerge them. I can also choose if there are several of them, like if I would have 10 cabinets like this, I could choose to show only one leader, and then I will be selecting which one I want to have visible. So I want to have this one visible, and I can also hide all leaders if I wanted to. So let's show all of them. Identity data parameters for groups and RVT links. So that's again nice new feature. If I create a group out of these two objects, let's say, now if I select the group, you can see that I've got some instance parameters, identity data parameters, or some type identity data parameters. And these parameters can be shown in your takeoffs, and they can also be tagged. So this is quite nice feature for groups or for Revit links. You can tag them, and they have these data which was previously not available. And last but not least of the core features are performance enhancements. I didn't test this, so we have to take Autodesk by their word, but again, they did some work, and Revit should work faster, especially in printing, exporting, image rotation, transparency, etc. So these are all the core features, and now let's take a look at the architecture features. First of them is the additional cuttable categories. So these categories were previously, it was not possible to cut them. You could only see them in your views as a plan view or front view or side view. But now I will show it on the furniture family. Here in my project, I've got this cabinet, it's casework. This chest of drawers is furniture, and this is again casework. And if I cut it here, I've got the cut plane here through all of these three pieces. If I go to 3D, they look like this. And I know that this chest of drawers has some shelves inside. But if I look at the section, even though it cuts through the chest of drawers, it doesn't show them because this is furniture family, and by default these are not cut. So to cut them, you now have the possibility in the family editor. If you go to edit the family, here you can see that if you enable cutting in views in the family, by default it's turned off, so all of your default furniture families will behave the same in your projects. But if I load it into the project and override the original one, you can see that it's cut, and I can see the shelves inside. And also in the view override for furniture, you can see that now you've got options to change the cut lines patterns. So let's say I will make those cut lines red, and you can see that this is cut, this is not cut. So it's for these families, it's very useful for me, especially for furniture, but also for plumbing fixture and specialty equipment. Web view on sheet is another great new enhancement which I'm actually quite fond of. And you can see that here, if I have my plan sheet and I place by accident, I place my ceiling plan on the sheet. In previous versions of Revit, I had to delete this one and place the correct one, which was level 1. Now, if I go 2 steps back, in Revit 2023, I can actually select the view and I can change the view here. So if I select floor plan, it has changed. So this saves a lot of time. You can also select alignment point, whether it would be viewport center or view origin. If I've got my plans here and I change it from my floor plan to ceiling plan, you can see that the floor plan actually moves because it's aligned to the viewport and the size of the viewport. So in this case, I would rather have it by view origin, and then the plan should stay at the same place on the sheet. So it stayed the same. Now let's, I'm in a level 1, and let's go to the ceiling plan. And if I tried to place a view that's already placed somewhere else, or not placed, but exchange. So I place my ceiling view here, and if I wanted to change it to level 1, which is already placed somewhere else, you can see here the name of the sheet it is placed on, and if I would want to swap it, Revit will tell me that this cannot be placed here because the level 1 view can only be placed on one sheet. Another neat feature is that you can actually search by name. So usually in your project you have got a lot of views. So again, I can filter by typing level 1, and then only the level 1 floor plans will be shown here, so I can select it more easily. So this is great feature which will save a lot of time. Filter by sheet for schedules is another strong new feature. This enables you to have in your schedule only objects or entities from the schedule which are in the views on the sheets. So let's say, how do we set it up? Here I've got furniture schedule, and here I've got view. If I change the view so there's no exterior like this, you can see that the schedule stays the same as the old behavior. But let's say I wanted to have in my furniture schedule only the furniture that is visible in the view, so the lounge chair, which is in the exterior, should not be here. I will go back to my original view, and to set up the schedule so that it shows only what's visible in the views on the sheets, you have to go to the schedule, and in the filter, here you've got the option filter by sheet. If you check this box and you go OK, now it's filtering only the objects that will be visible on your sheet. So now the lounge chair is here in the schedule, but if I change the view, and the lounge chairs are not visible in the view, they are now not visible in the schedule. You can see that I've got some also large cabinets here, which are in the storage room. If I change it so that only a relaxation room is visible, they disappear from the furniture schedule. Now, if I make the viewport like this, you can see that the large cabinets are again in the view, including the count. This filtering by view supports also multiple views on the sheet. So I've got my sheet here, room plans, with the same furniture schedule. It's the original one that was here, furniture schedule, and here all of the furniture is in the schedule. But here on the view, there's no, on the sheet, there's no view, so the schedule is empty. But now, if I place one room here, relaxation room, you can see that all of the furniture from the relaxation room shows up in the schedule. Now, if I place the storage room here, you can see again that the cabinets show up in the schedule. So this is very strong feature, especially for interior design. I'm quite fond of this new feature. Contour label direction is with regards to working with side. So when you had topo surface previously and you created label contours, from one side they were placed correctly, but when the grade was going from up to down, apparently the numbers were rotated around like this, so it was not readable. But in Revit 23, when you create contour labels from here to here, you can see that the labels are placed correctly and they are readable. Material textures and decals can be now stored on servers. So previously with your materials, if you didn't have your image on your hard disk, there would be a red image here and exclamation sign. But now you can store your textures on your servers or in Autodesk Docs server. Another new option that's possible in Revit 2023 is duplicating materials with their assets. So in previous versions, when you are duplicating your material, the only option was to duplicate it using shared assets. So if I duplicated this wood stained, and I will name it wood stained 1, the material was duplicated, but the appearance was using the same appearance as the original one, the trim. And it sometimes happened to me that I started to change the appearance, thinking that I'm changing only the new one, and actually I was changing also the old one. So if I change the appearance, you can see that also this wood stain has changed. But in the new version of Revit, I've got the option to duplicate material and the assets. So if I create the duplicate this way, I created the new material, but also the appearance is created a new one. It's not the copy of this one. So it's named trim 1, and if I change this, let's again invert the image. You can see that only this new one changed and the original one stays the same because it uses different appearance asset. Last but not least is the possibility to measure in 3D. So this is long overdue to Revit to have it. So the measure between two references, I can click this point, and if I want to know the distance to here, I can click this point. Here's the distance, or you can read it here. This was previously not possible to do in 3D, only in 2D. So again, if I want to know the thickness, I will click here and here. I know it's 200 millimeters. If you want, nice thing is to, if I want to measure from here to space here, I can use SP shortcut to snap perpendicular, and now it will snap to perpendicular. So if I click here, I know the distance from the corner to the floor. So snap perpendicular SP shortcut is one useful thing. Another one which might be useful, if you click the change checkbox, it will measure from this point to this point, but then I can continue, and if I click here, you can see that it's measuring the total length. So then I click here, and then I click here, and you can see that it compounded all of the lengths that I have clicked. But be careful, if I move my mouse cursor, it includes in the total length also the placement of my cursor. So, I mean, you might use this, you might not use this, you will see. So these are all new core and architecture features of new Revit LT 2023. Again, I will link this web page in the description box below. To conclude, I really like this new release of Revit LT. Autodesk gave us quite a lot of new features, Most of them are small, but they will help you with your day-to-day work, and each of them will save a little bit of time, which compounded means that it will save you a lot of time, I think. If you like this overview, smash that like button and take care.